Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wicked Good English, where I talk to you about random things that you might not even need to know. But hopefully, you learn some English along the way. I try to talk at a speed that is understandable for intermediate learners. So, the topic of today, marijuana, otherwise known in slang terms as weed, most popularly. Also, ganja, skunk, pot, Mary Jane, herb, bud, and grass. Those are all different slang ways to say marijuana. I would say typically, if I'm talking about it, I would say weed. Yeah, I say weed. I live in Massachusetts, which in Massachusetts, weed is legal both for medical use and recreationally, meaning that some people have a medical card where, as far as I know, they get access to more varieties at these shops that sell weed. And also, I think that they don't have to pay taxes. There's some advantages to having your medical card. I think maybe you don't pay tax on the weed. Something like that. But in states like Massachusetts, where it's legal, which I looked it up, and recreationally, meaning that you can just walk into a pot shop and show your ID and buy different types of weed. Like, you can buy flour, you can buy edibles, you can buy chocolate, you can buy vapes, different things. But if you have a store that is recreational, then you can just walk in and show your ID and you can buy weed. So, recreational use of cannabis, aka marijuana, aka weed, is legal in 24 states, 3 U.S. territories, and Washington, D.C. And medical use of weed, so they might not have recreational use, but they have medical use, is legal in 40 states and Washington, D.C. In the United States, especially in a state where it's legal, like Massachusetts, for recreational use, it's interesting because I grew up before it was recreationally legal in Massachusetts. And, for example, when I was in high school, so let me just, for a moment, let me say, I do partake. I sometimes go to these stores and I buy weed myself, but I'm not a stoner, as you would say. I'm not somebody who smokes every day. Usually what I do, I go to the store and I buy edibles. I'll buy gummies. And I will have a very, very small amount of a gummy if I do want to get a little bit high. I will eat, so the gummies, depends on which ones you get, but a lot of the times they come as 5 milligrams, which is kind of, depends on the person, but it's a low dose. And if I'm going to eat a gummy, I'll eat half of that. So a very, very small amount. I barely feel it. I don't like to smoke too much weed or eat too much of an edible because sometimes I basically have like a panic attack if I partake in too much weed. For example, if I smoke too much weed, sometimes I get very, very anxious. And the anxiety sometimes is, yeah, it's not fun. I've been in situations where literally I like thought I was going to die. So I don't like that. I do not like that too much. But what I like about the edibles is that you can control how much you're taking. So I take a very, very small amount and I just feel kind of chill, relaxed. Not all the time because sometimes it can make me tired, but sometimes I do enjoy it, but not too much because then I think I'm dying. So I don't want to feel like that. I want to feel chill. So I'll take a very small amount of an edible. And yes, so it's easy to go to the store and get it now. Everything is very professional. There's so many different options to choose from. But when I was younger, before we had stores like this in Massachusetts, and I was in high school, which is when people start to first try weed, we would have to basically call someone. We would have to call a person who sold weed, and you would meet up with them somewhere sketchy. Sketchy means like somewhere maybe not, doesn't look that safe, or like maybe you meet them, I don't know, some random parking lot or somewhere sketchy. So you meet somebody, you give them money, they give you weed. That's what we did in high school. And it was very different back then because the weed was not as strong from what I remember. The weed now that they have in these stores is extremely strong. That's why I don't like smoking too much of it, because it's too strong. I do enjoy smoking. I enjoy the act of smoking. But it's too much. I don't want to get that high. I want to feel in control of myself. Don't want to get anxious. Don't want to feel like I'm going to die. So that's why I like the edibles. Sometimes, not very often, it's been a really long time, maybe over a year, I like to smoke a spliff. A spliff is half weed, half tobacco, because then it's not as strong as smoking straight weed. So sometimes I do that. And yeah, I don't know too much about the legality of marijuana in other countries. I did buy it in Mexico, and it was pretty easy. It was a coffee shop that was next to a hostel I was staying at, and I just walked in and I bought weed. So I don't think it's illegal there recreationally, but I think they have these coffee shops that say that they're coffee shops, but they sell weed. So I don't know, let me know what you think about all of this. Is it legal in your country? Do you like to smoke weed? Does it make you anxious? Are you against it? Do you think that everybody that smokes weed are stoners? What do you think? I know some people that smoke too much weed, for sure. And I think that if you smoke too much weed all day, every day, you can overthink too many things and you might get anxious. But sometimes it can be really chill to have a little bit, chill, listen to music, go on a walk, do something creative, anything. Eat. Eating is great when you're a little bit high. Cooking, I mean, I don't know. Basically what I'm trying to say is that I don't know what I'm trying to say. Okay, that might be enough for today because I don't know what else to say about this. But if you ever come and visit Massachusetts, if you ever go to Boston, there are so many different weed shops. For example, in my city, well, I live in Boston, but my area of Boston that I live in, I could walk from my apartment to at least 2 different pot shops in walking distance that I can get to in like 10 minutes. It depends on where you live, but it's very common for there to be shops around here. And yeah, so if you visit Boston, try it out or don't. Okay, well, I wish you a nice night. For me, it is 8:46 p.m. and it's dark and it's a hot summer night. So I'm just going to chill and enjoy the rest of my night. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. And I will talk to you next time. Peace out.